All right, are we live, Lucas? All right, well. Oh, I need a prayer book. There it is. I don't want the canters. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Your sister is in that row. You have a... Well, you can't count yourself twice. So either we count you as being here or being online, but we don't get to count you double.
Whichever one you want.
I probably will ask you when it comes time for the Kaddish to let me know how many people are online. Excluding you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, welcome everybody to the last Shabbat of 2022, the last Friday night service. We will have a service tomorrow morning, and we're grateful for, as Barry said, standing room only if you use your imagination. Hope everybody at home is having a good evening. We'll start with Yedid Nefesh on page 5. Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman Meshoch Avdecha Eretz Sonecha Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayal Yishtachave Muhadarecha Yeravlo Yedidutecha Minofetzuf Vechotam Adonai Ziv HaOlam Nashicholat Avatecha Ana Elna Refana La Beharot La Noam Zivecha Az titchazek v'titrape v'haita la shivchat olam v'tikyemu rachamecha v'chusana Abenahu vecha ki ze kama niksov niksavti lirot betiferet uzecha ele chamda libi vechusana Ve'atit alam higalena ufros haviv alai et sukat shelomecha ta'ir eretz mivodecha Nagila venis mechabach Ma'ehuv kiva moe Bechonenu ki me'olam Yirarandai-rai-rai, yirarandai-rai-rai Page 7.
Nari aletzu yishenu nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot nari alo. For the Creator is a generous divinity, a sovereign greater than all image gods and human. Arba'im shana akut behedor va'omar am to'ele v'hafem vehem lo yada'u derachai asher nishbati ve'apim yavohu nemanuchati. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, basu miyom leyom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Ki gadol Adonai umulameho norau al ko Elohim ay 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 ki kol Elohe ha'amin elelim v'Adonai shamayim asa od v'hadar lefanav Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho avol Adonai mishpachot amin avol Adonai kavod va'oz avol Adonai kevod shemo se'u mincha v'o lechatzrota השתחוו לאדוני בהר הקודש חילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו הגויים אדוני מלך נפתיקון תבר בתימות ידין אמין במשרים נסמכו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירמיה ומלואו יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל הצייה לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ואמין באמונתו לה 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 היי אוי 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 לה 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 היי לה 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 and everyone one. Ay, 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 and I, da, la, da, and I, da, 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 and I, da, 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 and I, and I, and I, da, 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 and I, da, 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 and I, da, 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 and I, and I, and I, la, 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 ho, ya, da, 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 ya, da, 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 la, 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 la. La 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 la.
Continue with page page 11, Psalm 97. We'll begin privately and we'll meet on the last word of the 6th line in Hebrew. I'll let you know when we get there. The uncreated reigns, O world, rejoice. If you follow in the Hebrew, we're the last word of the 6th line, Shama'a. If you're in the transliteration, it's the 7th line where it says Shame'a Vatismach. But it's a lullaby, and if you just like the melody, but there's no, people like different melodies. I like this one.
Shame'a Vatismach Sion Vatagelna Benot Yehuda Lema'an Mishpatecha Adonai Ki Ata Adonai Elyon Akol Haaretz Me'od Na'aleta Ako Elohim Ove Adonai Sinura Shomer Nafsho Chasidav Miyad Rishayim Yatzilam Or Zaru Ala Tzadik Ulishvelev Simcha Simchu Tzadikim Badonai Beholdu lezecher kodsho. Next page. Mizmor shiru ladonai shir chadash ki niflahot asa Hoshia lo yemino uzeru kodsho ay ay hodia Adonai Yeshuato לעיני הגויים גילת צדקתו, זכר חסדו ואמונתו, לבית ישראל ראו כל עשי הארץ, את ישועת אלוהינו, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, פיתחו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו אדוני וכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה, בחצוצו וקול שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבה, נהרות ימחה וכף, יחד הרים ירננו, לפני אדוני קיבה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט טבע בצדק, Ve'amim be'mesharim Yana la 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 Ya la 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 Na 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 da 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 Oy 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 da da Oy la 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 Ay 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 da 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 Ya da 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 Page 19, Ana B'choach. Ana B'choach gedulat yamincha ta'ati tzerura. Ana B'choach gedulat yamincha ta'ati Terura la 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 ya la 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 Ana B'choach gedulat yamincha ta'ati tzerura Ana B'choach gedulat yamincha ta'ati tzerura La 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 ya la 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 ay 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 ya 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 ra 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 la 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 da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Lecha Dodi is on page 20. Is there a melody from the congregation that anybody would like to request for tonight? You're on fire, I'd say. Yeah. La 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 ya la la ya la 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela ya ya Shemo v'zacho b'dibo echad Ishmi'anu el ha-meyuchai Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemo tiferet ve'letila Lecha Dodi likrat kala ya la la ya la la ya la la Pnei Shabbat nekabela ay 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kala ya na na ya na na ya na na Pnei Shabbat nekabela ay 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 Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha-beracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof maaseh b'machshava tchila Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 Panei Shabbat Nekabela Hay 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 Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 Panei Shabbat Nekabela Hay 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 Mikdash melech melucha kumitei metoch ha'afecha ravrach shevet be'emecha bacha vehu yachamol aleichem la lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 penei Shabbat nehekabela Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 penei Shabbat Nehekabela ay 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 Hitna'ari me'afa kumi Livshi bigdei tifatechami Aya ben Yishai bet halachmi Korva nashige Allah Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 penei Shabbat Nehekabela ay 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 Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 penei Shabbat Nehekabela ay 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 Hitoreri hitoreri Kiva ore kumi ori uri uri shidaberi Kevod Adonai alaik nigla Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 Panei Shabbat Nehekabela ay 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 Lecha dodi lihika kala yanana 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 Penei Shabbat Nehekabela. Did we do verse 5? I think we did. Okay.
We're on the top of page 21, verse 6.
Lo tevoshi velo tikami ma tishtochahi uma temivach yechesu ani yami venivneta yiratila ayalecha dodi ayali katkala ayapene Shabbat Kabbalah V'hayu l'shimsa shosai berachakuko mehevalahi yasis alahi elochai kimsos chatan hakala ayalecha dodi ayali katkala ayapene Shabbat Nekabela Yaminu smoti hivroti vehet Adonai ta'aritzi ayari his pempatzi venismecha venagila ayalecha dodi ayali katkala ayapene Shabbat Nekabela Boi v'shalom aterepala gam besimcha Uhu sohalato chemune aham segula Boi chala ayalecha dodi ayali kakala ayapene Shabbat Nekabela la 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 la
On page 23, let's sing together Sadi Katamar from the black triangle, 3 lines from the bottom in Hebrew, same thing in the transliteration.
Tzadikatamar Hifra Ke'erez Balavanon Yizkeh Shetuli Bevet Adonai Bechatrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Orenu Beseva Deshenim Verananim Yeolagi Ki Yashar Adonai Tzuri Velo Havlatabo.
Lucas, if you're listening, Lucas, if you'll let me know if we have 3 or more people online to make the minyan tonight, while we focus our attention on those who have passed in the past 30 days, Rachel Roditi, the mother of Moshe, and Michael Bazin, the brother-in-law of Carl and Sandy Shallett, Lois and Bobby Kaplan. Today, we got it. Thank you. Thank you, minyan makers online. We remember the yortzites that fall out today of Samuel Frank, the father-in-law of Del Frank, Ellie Gartz, the great-uncle of Karen Hirsch, Esther LaBelle, the sister of Elaine Sevenor, Barbara Rosen, wife of Mike Rosen, Bennett Zarin, the brother of Harvey Zarin. And tonight and tomorrow, remember the yortzites of Catherine Forbush, mother of Bernie Forbush, Belle Gerber, the mother of Val Gilbert, Robert Clevin, the brother of Gail Gelb. Are there any other yortzites? For all those in mourning or observing the yortzeit, I invite you to rise and we'll join in the mourner's kaddish on page 27 together. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash mechabah. Be'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich machutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'tomam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar vitale vitalal shmei de kudusha barichu le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromam uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. There was an incredible story about this young man in Buffalo. You might have read this or saw it on the news, that in the blizzard, he got a call from a friend. He went out to help the friend, but he himself got stuck. He shoveled out once, but the second time he couldn't shovel out. He knocked on 10 doors and nobody would let him in. He offered to pay $500 to sleep on the couch. Went back to his truck, was staying warm. Elderly woman knocked on his door and said, "I'm stuck in my van. Can I stay with you?" He said, "Yes." Somebody else showed up. He took them in. His car ran out of gas. They went back to the woman's van, turned up the heat, and stayed in that. They spent the night. The next morning, they knew they weren't going to get anywhere. He opened his GPS, and he found that there was a school nearby. And so he broke into the school, turned off the alarm, figured out how to turn on the generator or heater, got pads from PE and put them down in the cafeteria, found cereal and apples, and then he left a note because eventually the police came and he said, "Sorry, I had to break in, but I had to save 20 people from the storm." And in fact, what I left out was he actually went back out and then found other cars with people in them and brought many elderly people, and ultimately I think 10 to 20 people and 2 dogs he saved. And it just makes me think that there's so many times when we wish we could do something for someone because we have that sense of connection and empathy, and we can't. You think about somebody who has a health diagnosis that's very challenging. we can be with them as a support, but we can't transform the health situation or a great loss. And that ability then to, when we can do something, to actually act on it, I think is sort of, for me, the lesson from the story. And I recall that last week when we were talking about Joseph, we read that when Joseph was in prison, that the first stage of redemption, of climbing out of, if you will, Joseph's own confinement and his rising mirrors the Jewish people going into slavery and then leaving Egypt. And so what happens for Joseph becomes a paradigm for the Israelites. We sink down into slavery just as Joseph sunk down into the dungeon, but the redemption that Joseph sparks becomes a model for the Jewish people. Joseph's redemption is his sensitivity to the other prisoners. When he sees them in distress, he reaches out to them, he supports them, he helps interpret their dreams, and ultimately helps lift them out of their place of confinement, and that becomes a model of that sense of what sparks the redemption is this concern for others and awareness of them. And so then it brings us to this week's parasha, where Joseph, through all these ruses, unbeknownst to the brothers, has tricked them to now bringing Benjamin down to Egypt, Jacob's only living son in his mind from his beloved wife Rachel, because he thinks Joseph is dead. And now Joseph has played the final trick, which is that the goblet has been found in Benjamin's sack, and now Benjamin will be taken captive. And this week's parsha begins with Judah, really one of the, it might be the longest. It's a very long speech for the Torah. It covers maybe 17 verses. Judah laying out the case to free Benjamin. And the argument that he makes, he says, Joseph, if I come to your servant, my father, meaning Jacob, and the boy Benjamin is not with us, since Jacob's own life is bound up with Benjamin's, when he sees that Benjamin is not with us, Jacob will die, and us brothers will have sent your servant Jacob down to the underworld in grief. And then at the end he says, for Joseph, how can I go back to my father unless the boy is with me? Let me not witness the woe that would overtake my father. And so this final story, if you will, shows the inner, empathy of Judah. This is Judah who said, let's not kill Joseph, let's just put him in a pit. Let's just slaughter a goat, dip Joseph's coat in it, and we'll bring the bloody coat back to the father. And when they go back, Jacob is distraught, and Jacob says those very words, I shall now go down grieving over my lost son Joseph to the underworld, to my grave. And so now the same scenario is before Judah, and Judah exhibits that he now has developed that degree of empathy for his father. He doesn't want to see his father go through that same grief for a second time. And I think that there's so many sense, our tradition tries to command upon us to give tzedakah, because maybe our heart isn't always there, but we have an obligation to fulfill. And there's a whole set of narratives that we can read about Joseph and Judah, where the leader of the brothers, Judah, the model of leadership that he exhibits is founded on his empathy for his father and his connection. And I think that the combination of the leadership of Joseph in prison and his awareness of the others, and now Judah's sense of understanding how his father will react, are really important lessons to kind of arcing our hearts towards that sense of concern for others, so that when the opportunities do rise to do chesed and kindness and care for others and act with empathy, it becomes a natural action for us and not one that is required and imposed upon us, as the mitzvah will do if we're not there. Shabbat Shalom. We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 30.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed. Page 32, we think of the telescope
and the galaxies. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings on the dusk of evening. Your wisdom opens the gates of dawn. Your understanding regulates time and seasons. The stars above follow their appointed rounds in response to your divine will. You create day and night. You alternate darkness and light. You remove the day and bring on the night. You separate one from the other. We call you Lord of heavenly hosts. You are a living God. May you rule over us as you rule over nature. Praise to you, Adonai, who brings the evening dusk. 3. Avat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochveinu uvkumenu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nisma b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla yomam v'layla. Va'ahavetecha al tasim mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol lavavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha, ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam, b'shitecha v'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech, u'shochbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'tatafot b'neinecha, u'ktavta al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha v'hayach. Adonai Elohechem emet, page 43. Mi chamocha b'helim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, norati lo osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, boker yam livnei Moshe, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, v'nehema kifad Adonai Yaakov, u'go'alo michazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael.
46 in English, Hashkivenu. Help us to lie down in peace, Adonai, and let us rise again, our sovereign, to life. May we always be guided by your good counsel and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Shield us, we pray, against our foes, against plague, destruction, and sorrow. Strengthen us against the evil forces which abound on every side. May we always sense your care, for you are our merciful sovereign. Guard us always and everywhere. Bless us with life and peace. Blessed are you, compassionate one, whose love is always with us, who shelters your people Israel and protects Jerusalem in love. Let us continue with the Amidah in silence on page 50. So we rise, page 50 through 56. Ose shalom bimroma, Oya ase shalom aleinu, ve'yako Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'ako Yisrael. 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 Aleinu 65. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hako, לתת גדולה ליוצא ראשי, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגבר עלינו כחומונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרא בשמיים עמה, ושכינת זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו, נמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים עמה, ועל הארץ מתחת אינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ילך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May the memories of all those who are observing your site or in mourning, may they be a blessing. I invite those observing your site or in mourning to join in the mourner's Kaddish on page 68. Together, Yitzgadal v'Yitzgadash Merabah. Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'tomam v'yitnaseh. V'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei l'kudusha b'richu. Le'elat min kol bechata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav u'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Page 69, we'll do Yigdal. Do people know the one that goes, Yigdal Elohim Chai? Let's learn a new one then. Usually we do Yigdal Elohim Chai. Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach Nimtzav yenet metziuto echad v'en yachid keyichudo v'gam beganem sof le'achduto wait, am I switching melodies? Eno damot haguf ve'eno guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon lechol davar kasher nivra ראשון ונשיל לראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם לכל נוצר, ירא גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו, העלן שסגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, היה נביאו למען ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע שתנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומש לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רק כרישתו, ישלח כקץ ימים משיחנו, לפדות מחקקת ישועתו, מתים יחיה ברוך חסדו, ברוך יודע השם תהילתו, מתים יחיה ברוך חסדו,
Baruch Adei Hashem Tehilato. We were just picking it up, so let's just try it without the words. Thank you for having fun with me tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.